As an artist, I use found industrial material. I go out to various factories and advertising companies and see what they're throwing out in their skip and ask if I can have it. So then I repurpose it and transform it into just new sculptures or whatever's around.
The piece directly over your shoulder is quite unique in its own way, and it looks quite intricate and difficult to create. Can you talk us through the creation of it and the inspiration that came behind it?
Well, these were based on Sheila na gigs, which are stone carvings, and you find them in England, Ireland and Wales. And it was for an exhibition in Wales that I started researching Sheila na gigs and just sort of the meanings behind them. Some of them are very derogatory towards women, and plus religion plays a big part on how these Sheila na gigs are perceived. And some of them, like if you went back to the earlier religions or pagan religions, they would have thought they were more like talisman, where you rubbed the stone for good fortune or luck, or sometimes they were used as birthing stones and things like that. So out of that, I sort of abstracted the ideas and just sort of injected a more contemporary way of working with the dye bond, and just using some of the just correlations like rubbing and cutting and incising the material to represent some of the stone carvings. I start off with these flat strips of dye bond, and I normally have a plan of how I want them bent into shape, and I reuse old pieces that may have been from previous projects. I cut them into shape, and I bend, and I see what I can actually do with the material. As you can see, it's quite easily bent, and I quite like that because most people think that you need machinery to do it. And I also like the qualities I get from it. I normally put like a lace pattern on the underside, and this is called milled aluminium, and that sort of gives like a feminine touch as well. I think there's a very, very good mix. It's I feel as though contemporary art in Northern Ireland at the moment is very vibrant. There are a lot of avenues for showing your work, especially in Belfast. I have all these little drawings that I do, and they're to do with mathematical equations. I just sort of decided to use the mathematical formula for the circumference of a circle, and in these ones I've done the mathematical equation for the volume of a sphere. Well, the great thing about Queen Street Studios Gallery and Studios is you're able to go down to the gallery space and try out your work in different spaces whenever there isn't an exhibition on. You can try out your pieces and then bring it back to the studio and tweak it a bit, and then it'll be like an ongoing process, especially because my work is site-specific, and it's very important for me to be able to show my work in like a new way of I suppose presenting it to the public. It's always a challenge because everybody's so different, and I'm always surprised of how the work's put together, because some works play off each other. I quite like that.